This 1996 Trek 970 was literally a $100 barn find. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, saw the color, and I was like, I gotta have it. And today, I'm gonna be converting it into what I'm calling a modern Resto-Monster gravel bike. Keep watching to the end. I'm gonna take this guy out for a little ride. So I've been delaying working on this bike. I'm not sure why. I want it to be right, I guess is really what it is. And I want this video to be good for the folks that watch it. Let's put on our first part. So this is the Ritchey Comp 2-bolt seat post mount. I was looking for something with some offset. I wanted to get that saddle back a little bit, shift my weight back a little bit, and this guy is gonna do it. Super excited. The Ritchey name is just, you know, it just instills quality. I still love this color. I think we're gonna start with our forks. So I painted these up. They were black originally. Disc brake mounts. They also have rim brake mounts. But the thought was, let's give a little nod to the original RockShox that were on here with that yellow. What do we need next? Some grease. In anticipation, I cleaned the bearings and a couple of the old parts that I was going to be using. Dust seal. So here's a little hack that I've been doing for years. This is an old broken rim strip, and I will use it to hold up forks. So I've got a little sandwich box of spacers. I have no idea what our height is going to be, although I want it a little bit higher. I'm just going to go like that. Let's get our stem. Ritchey Trail. Just looking for a short stem. I'm going to put this guy on. I can see we're going to be cutting a lot. What's going through my head? Do I stack it up with shims to bolt it on in order to prove stuff out on the road? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Like it. Oh, you know what I don't have? I don't have a star nut in there. Work that grease in a little bit. That looks so goofy, doesn't it? What next? We're going to put in our BB. We're going to put on our cranks and chain ring. Put together our rear wheel. Figure out our chain line in order to really discover what the issues might be with our chain line. So this Shimano UN51, just a smooth BB. Now I did go to work with this frame and chased these threads. I like to start the other side before I completely tighten the drive side. True Temper OX Comp 3 Trek Design Ultra Light Tri-Butted Heat Treated Chromoly. I don't remember what the weight was, but when I was chasing these threads, I did weigh this frame. So this is a 40T chain ring. I'm not going ham yet, tightening these down, because I'm not sure what our chain line's going to look like. So I can always flip which side the chain ring goes on the crank, and I've got some different size bottom brackets if need be. I always get the questions, what size bottom bracket? So that's a 68, but I don't know the length. I'm going to go get my calipers and check it. So that is a 110.5 for our BB. I'm guessing we're gonna have to move that chain ring to the inside. Like it. So I got this tube, and I found another tube. It says 26, good, and then a question mark. Rear wheel, cassette, and we'll check that chain line. Let's do it. So yes, a brand new wheel set. This is like a, ooh, scratch at my newly painted fork. Alibaba special. It came in with shipping around $140 that are disc and rim brake capable. So we got a 11 to 42 9-speed by MicroSHIFT. I've fallen in love with their stuff. Yeah, I can see my chain line is already off. I'm lining up with about gear 7. I'd like it to be around 5. Let's move that chain ring. Here's an invention for somebody. Create like a little trough underneath a bike stand in order to catch all the bolts, funnel them down to a little catch bucket, and then market it to the thousands of bike shops around the country. Oh yeah, we're right at about 4 and 5 for the chain line. That should be good. I like it. Let's take a look. We got clearance to our chain stay. Let's do a derailleur. Advent 9-speed. We got a clutch on it. You know, before we do that, we should check to see if that thing is aligned. It was shifting pretty good before, but it's worth it to check. Oh, it's bent a little bit. I think we're good. Might as well make it perfect while we can. Oy, oy, oy. So last night I couldn't handle it. I had to cut down that steer tube. Just too long, just looked too weird. So Ritchey sends a nice cap. Get all that fresh grease worked around in there. Finish it off. I got a little cap. What next? I think we're gonna put our brakes together on the wheel. So last night I fought with these tires. I put a lot of tires and tubes on bikes, and this is probably out of hundreds, probably the second toughest one I've ever had to do. I had a BMX bike in the shop that I literally had to cut the tire off of it. The owners knew it was tight because they tried to change a tube while they were at a race, and they were not able to do it. We have to try to find some plugs for these bolts up here. Maybe something black. I keep looking at it thinking I need something to fill it in, right? And I also need something to add a little bit of color. Drop bars with the brakes and shifters or brifters are a short pull. Mountain bikes with V-brakes are typically long pull. So you got some conflicting things there. One of the solutions, let's do what I'm doing in the front. Put a disc brake in. Easy enough to do because I was going to be switching that fork out for our Monster gravel. But in the back, I don't have the tabs. I don't have any posts for disc brakes. These tires are capable. Only got my cantilever posts. What you can do though, to make it compatible, Tektro sells a mini V. The hard part of this, I might run into some clearance items. When I say clearance, the arm length clearing the tire height to the post. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to do it. Ooh, it's gonna be close, but it's gonna be good. I think there's some satisfaction putting new parts on an old bike, some shiny things, modernizing the whole. That's probably the theme of this Resto-Monster, right? Oh, we are just gonna clear. So when I say just clear, you gotta visualize that cable coming through. It's gonna be, I'll bet you my little boot is gonna even be touching that tire. We might just go straight cable. Time for some front brakes. All right, what do we got going here? Aries, Tektro Aries. Came off of some bike at some point in time. Pads look good though. Little trick, turning this guy in, squeeze, tighten. All right, and then I'm gonna probably need to back this off. Finish the centering up when we get a cable in there. I'm excited about the bars. How many folks use power tools to drive bolts on bikes? Take a little bit of pleasure in just going slow. But let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. We got the Ritchey. See what she says. Ritchey Comp Ergo Max Bar. What I like about this guy is it has a rise. So you can see this guy has got a rise. I think it's like a 15 millimeter rise, 42 millimeter width, and a little bit of sweep back to give me that comfort. I don't know if this is a little hack, this is a little tip, but I intentionally do not line up the tire in the stem. Why? I want to come, it's like my reminder to come back, torque down everything correctly as I'm lining it up. Time for a chain. Holy cow. There we go. Jeez, oh Pete. So 9-speed drivetrain we've got here. We were working on a bike in a shop the other day, and we avoid these kind of setups in the shop, right? Where you're doing a resto mod or whatever you want to call this kind of thing, because it becomes an experiment. All right, we're gonna check to see if our limits are set. All right, relatively quiet. Wow, that hub. That hub is loud. People gonna hear me coming. Alright, it's time to put on our levers. Alright, so all that's loose. I will ride the bike without any bar tape for a while. Just make sure it's gonna work out for me. Oh, it's getting there. All right, some cabling. Maybe you can, yeah. I know you can't see this, sorry. From there to there. All right, if I was to add an inch, right there. All right, I'm expecting to cut a little bit off of that. Nice. Just barely a little tap. Like it. What's next? Let's do rear brakes. Oh, it's gonna be so close. I don't know. The cable, what I'm looking at is the cable height above the tire. Black ones or clear? Now we're gonna go clear. All right, crossing my fingers. Crossing my fingers. If I am really, really, really lucky, this is gonna clear and I can keep my boot on there. That stirrup is gonna clear. What am I talking about? Let's get you in here closer. Loosen this up. So, for sure this isn't gonna work. All right, I gotta think about this for a couple minutes. Okay, this isn't gonna work. These are those mini Tektros. Basically, My tire's too big to clear these guys. And I think I'm gonna go through some options. I grabbed my box of V-brakes and cantilever brakes. I would like to get something black. Cantilevers, some pads, V-brakes, extra pads, V-brake. Those were some nice looking handles. It's a shame I didn't have disc in the back. Oh, one arm, kind of greasy. There's black. Where there's one, there we go. Two. So I got these as an option, or I do have some BRT 4000. These are brand new guys. What do I got going for me? My wheel is nice and true, nice and straight, so whatever grabs on, it's not like I have to have a lot of clearance to clear it. I'm gonna keep these out. Oh, there we go. Very lightly used. Again, lightly used. This guy looks new. Let's go with the lightly used. Alright, this and this and this. Put this away. Off with the new and on with the old. I'm kind of bummed. Well, really it came down to a trade-off tire, which I really want for comfort versus superior braking. Who wants superior braking? Silly. Okay, I wish I had power tools. Like that. Scrub off. Nasty. Got a couple bolts. Took a couple minutes. Should I put more grease on? Oh, that's going to definitely clear. So I've got it tight to the rim. Tight to the rim. I'm going to squeeze my brake a little bit with the expectation some stuff is going to all smoosh. We had a lot of spring tension. Actually, it feels pretty good at the lever. I like it. Pretty equal. Got that little cable there. I'm liking it. I think we're ready to do some shifter cables. Cables are going to run around this side. Down, 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 down. So what's going through my head is I'm going to have somewhere a little section of cable because I need to put some inline adjusters in. All right, I like the position. What do you think? Snip it down just a little bit more. There it is. Yeah. Most of the time, once I get my bar tape on, it's going to be about to there. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. All right, let's get a cable. I'm going to tighten that up, and I'm going to give this section a little bit of roll. I'm going to tighten this back up again. Alright, I like that. Not super tight. So when I say not super tight, it's got a little bit of slack in it. Just a little bit of slack. That little bit of slack tells me that the derailleur, it's on that high limit, all the way returned here, and it's not the cable holding it. First pedal, first shift. Maybe just a little bit of tension. A little bit. All right, I added just a little bit of tension to the cable up at the shifter. Maybe too much. Took a little tension off. Nice. I think we got to put our saddle on. The saddle I'm thinking about is a new WTB Volt. I've always liked these spoon-shaped, cup-shaped saddles. So I got some race face Chesters. They're used, they're loved. They'll be great for this. That quick release function is the best. Oh! All right. This hand grip needs to go out just slightly. Opening the door, taking the bike for an initial little fitting. I'm holding off on bar tape until I make sure I got the grips drop out to where I want them. I think so. Shifting nice. I'm gonna have to do a little test here. I was wondering how the brakes would work. Oh yeah. Those brakes are stopping well. Stops good. Surprisingly good. So I'm thinking about hood positions. Let's wrap those bars. Finish this off. All right, my little prove out trip is done. The bike is back in the basement. I'm settled with where the levers are at, handlebar, all that good stuff. So time to tape up our grips. Let's get my tape ready. Scissors are there. I want to leave enough grip tape over the end in order to fold it in, but you want to quickly transition that into our wrap. So when I'm wrapping, I look at my adhesive tape and I try to get that to be just to the, I'm going to say in this case, to the right of the next wrap. Stretching, pulling as I go. I like it. We're going to do the next one. You don't have to watch me though. Bars are wrapped. It's time to add some finishing touches. So we're done. All that's left to do is get on this and ride it, get some beauty shots, let you know how it feels. So here we are in the same spot I tested the 1996 970. Same trailhead. Maybe a week or so later, we'll go down the road. We'll go up the first hill over there and then pop over here and go along the side trail. Gonna be a little slippery with all these leaves. I am surprised how well these V-brakes work in the back. The disc brakes in the front work really well. Much like the last time I was here, it rained yesterday, and I'm afraid it's going to be a little bit muddy. Alright. Well, survived. What would I say comparing? Obviously, a downhill like that is not what this bike is built for. But I made it. Whew. I like it. Let's get some speed. Trying to visualize rolling off the miles. Could I do it with this bike? I think so. Particularly dirt roads. Really comfortable. Shifting smooth. Liking it. So what do we got? We got the Ritchey ergo bars. What is it, 15 or 20 millimeter rise? The stem short, 70 millimeters. We swapped out that fork. I got a generic alloy one that I could put disc brakes on. Painted it up yellow. We got the MicroSHIFT Advent 9-speed. So that's a 1x system. Perfectly meets up to the 1x9 setup. That's a 40 tooth with an 11 to 42 in the rear. We've got the Advent 9 derailleur with the clutch. I've got my little surprise, which was the V-brakes working out fantastic on this bike. Stops so balanced between the front and the back. I've got the Ritchey 27.2 seat post that has about a 1-inch offset. It's working out great. Gets me back just a little bit more. I've got the WTB Volt, which I've had for a while. Just never had a chance to test it out. Working out real well. I'm surprised how comfortable it is. A generic front chainring with a square taper bottom bracket. The GravelKings at that 2.1 are soaking up the bumps. I definitely love those tires. We've got that yellow contrasted to the red. Kind of a nod back to those original rock shocks that were on the bike. And there it is. All that's left to do is put more miles on it. Keep it tuned up and keep pedaling.